Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching the end of the Wise Coffee Chat Show. We're wrapping things up over here at the XBS Summit. We're super excited to be here today with Delilah, who's also a former co-host of the Coffee Chat Show. Delilah, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Delilah, and I'm so happy to be here. Just excited. I'm just excited for life, excited to be here, and to be another co-host.
Of course, yes. And we have a special guest here who's going to help us with our raffle and all our fun stuff that we're doing right now. Sir, can you introduce yourself? You're a man, a special man here.
I'm Chris Gandy.
You want to hold the mic?
No, I'll let you hold it.
You want me to hold it?
We're sharing. We're co-hosting this mic. But,
Okay.
I'm Chris Gandy. I'm one of the speakers here. I did a talk on the 1%, how to capture the 1% and really grow from within and create wealth for yourself and your family and your business. And from the main stage, I think we talked about building a business with purpose and out of purpose so that you can have a full experience with business. And so you can manifest the things in your life that mean the most to you and take care of yourself, your family, but do it with the right reason and the right intent in mind.
I love that. I love that. So how did, obviously, right, you were in the NBA, right? How did you fall into the realm of the financial world?
Well, I actually fell. That was you said
Literally.
it right.
Oh, okay.
I fell. I stumbled into it because I was injured. Actually, I fell and I tore a bunch of ligaments at one time, and then I got a contract paid out to me. And within 23 months, I got almost three contracts paid out to me within that period of time. And I heard a voice in the back of my head just simply saying, I remember my mother saying, don't spend all your money, don't spend all your money, don't spend all your money. So I took that opportunity to allow for it to create an opportunity for me and to use it to open a door that led to financial services. Instead of letting somebody else create the wealth for me, I wanted to learn how to do it, create it for myself. So I got into it. The rest, 26 years later, history.
Do you love it? Do you love numbers? Or now, are you a financial advisor?
I'm an advisor. I'm a coach. I'm a consultant. I like to say I help people make smart decisions with money, but I've added to this based on this idea of purpose and really doing things with purpose and intent in mind is helping people make smart decisions so they show up better for themselves and their families, not out of fear or not out of the idea of I want to be like someone else or lack thereof. I think that's very important because we find ourselves seeking money to create whatever it may be, and I think there's a disproportion and a similar to food, right? And that people have a disconnect with what money really means. We give it value. It doesn't have value on its own. It's nothing more than a piece of paper.
So then, you mentioned the 1%. Where does, how do you get someone's viewpoint to change if they've never had that opportunity, or let's say they've never saw? You mentioned a piece of paper, money being a piece of paper if there's no value in it. Where does that come from, and how do you change someone's viewpoint when it comes to that?
Well, you don't. We go back and we have to restructure what we believe is reality. And so it just takes money for a moment. How many people do we know out there, and then people in your audience, how many people have cried at some point over lack thereof money, or the fact that they found some money, or the fact that at the end of the day, they're struggling with money. And so when you think about that, let's have a reverse reciprocal. Let's have a mutual relationship with it, right? And so when was the last time money cried for us? If I pull out $1, it doesn't cry for us, right? And so we need to disconnect the emotional relationship with money because it's nothing more than a piece of paper. We give it value. And the way in which we make money is not based on the products we sell. It's based on the value that the marketplace thinks we want. That's what it is. So at the end, so when we dial it all back, I think that we've missed some things because it's people will pay us what they believe the value are in the marketplace. Take, for example, athletes. The work that they're doing, is it really worth $20 million a year? Or would we say the value of it is really worth, I'd rather pay that same $20 million to the person that's doing the research on cancer. I'd rather pay that $20 million to people that are providing homes for kids and people that have lost their homes or lack thereof, jobs and other things. I'd rather pay that $20 million to people that are creating change in the world than someone who's entertaining. That's nothing more than what we did. We were entertainers, paid entertainers.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you worked hard to be that, right? Because I'm sure you worked hard. I mean, the statistically for someone to become an athlete, where were you born and raised? Where are you from?
I was born in Kankakee.
Oh, wow.
About an hour and a half from rock's throw from Chicago.
Yeah.
In a very blue collar town.
Wow.
Okay.
Great opportunity, but it wasn't my life sentence to stay there, be there, be a part of that whole culture.
How did you get into basketball in Kankakee?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I played baseball actually.
Oh wow.
Baseball was my first love, and then everyone was like, "You should play. You should try it." You know, and I said, "Okay, why not?" And so I kind of, just one of those things. I never see. Hopefully you have some young people listening to this and you have some parents listening to this. I want to say something that I think is very important. And don't throw it on the floor. Don't nix it out of your talk. But listen, we have to put the relationship with sports in the right narrative. Okay. So kids have to stop thinking that this is my only way to have success in life. Okay, because at the end of the day, if that's the only thing that they have a skill set on,
yes, that's good.
They're in trouble. And so we have to develop children to have a relationship. So I'm going to tell you something is that, basketball is a dream with a deadline. So is every other sport.
Yes.
It's a dream with a deadline. They just don't know when the deadline is. It's either going to come in high school, grade school, whatever it may be. And so I tell parents all the time is that help your kids in sports because it gives them the discipline and things for sports. But help them fall in love with the sport. And if they fall in love with the sport, then they're going to go as high as their skill will take them to go. But we have parents, me included. I took a step back because I could see it and I understand it. But we have parents that are pushing children and putting children in things, and the kids don't have a love for the sport. They don't have a love for the game. So at the end of the day, it takes on a different onus for them. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to be an NBA." You ask kids if they say out of their mouth, "I want to be an NBA player."
Give them options.
You say, okay, what else? Right. And they can't think of anything else. That means that we as parents have done them an injustice. And so we have to take a step back and say, what kind of relationship do we have with sports and money and the connection there? We have to do a better job because at the end of the day, even sports ends with something. And so it ended for me, and I figured out what else I needed to do, and I pivoted.
So now, did your parents push you at that time as far as like baseball? I mean, baseball, basketball. You said you kind of stumbled on basketball because everybody said you should do this. Did it come naturally to you, or did you have a backup plan? Like, you said you came from a blue collar community, right? So was there a backup plan there, or?
The backup plan was never to go back. That was the backup plan.
So you knew your
no discussion. I remember my mother sat with me one day and she goes, "Are you planning on going to college?" I go, "Yeah, I'd love to go to college." She goes, "Well, either A, you're going to the community college, or B, you're going to get a scholarship. Those are the two options." And so when you have those two options, I mean, what else do you do? I love my mother for what she's done for me on the idea of when you have to make hard decisions, you have to be dedicated to certain things. So she was not negotiating that because one, she didn't have the means, and two, the capability and the opportunity just wasn't there at that particular time for me. So I took a different route. My route was I'm going to follow what I believe I'm capable of doing, be really, really. I wasn't the most skilled guy at baseball. I wasn't the most skilled guy at basketball. But I just outworked people. I just literally took my skill, and I was very disciplined with The kids would go to the party, the kids would go to this, I'd go to the gym. They were doing XYZ, hanging out at other people's houses, going to football games. I would go to the gym. I'd get up 100, 200, 500 shots, every day. Even when, and so it was just like, this is where I'm going. Even if I went to a smaller school, it was the ticket. Like, you guys have tickets. It was my ticket out.
That's good.
And so I took that as an opportunity for a bridge to the next part of my life.
So do you think that your discipline, right, in the athletic world, it led into your financial discipline? Because if I'm not mistaken, and maybe you know more, I don't know sports like that. I just remember the Bulls when I was in the 90s, as a 90s baby, right? But I know that a lot of sports people eventually go broke, and a lot of athletes go broke, right? What made you stand out? The discipline, did that help you where you're at?
Well, what helped me was my mother is a no nonsense mother.
Okay.
She said to me, if at any point, I don't care if you're playing on TV, on national TV. I'm thinking to myself, like, we're on TV on a commercial. Like, you can't run on the basketball floor; they will run you off. I remember my mother said to me, she goes, for a moment, she goes, if I think, or I have the idea that you're not going to school, I'm going to run out there and they can do whatever they want. And I believed her.
Oh, wow.
I still believe her. I still believe her. She was no nonsense, right? And
Mom, we love you.
And so she was no nonsense. And so, sports for me was always a perspective. I never for one moment after college thought that I would get a chance to play sports continuously. So for me, it was like every day was like, oh, I get paid in this perspective. I get paid to play a kid's game. I get paid to throw a plastic ball into a round hoop. That's a kid's game.
Is that what you thought then?
That's a kid's game now.
I mean, no, I know.
It's a kid's game. I think about football. Same thing. I get a chance to throw a ball and run. Like, and people get paid millions of dollars to do that. And I get a chance to tackle people or slide in the mud. Like, it's a kid's game. It's not a game of trying to survive cancer. It's not a game of trying to build dignity within communities. It's not that kind of thing. And so why do we pay all this money, good, better, and different, entertainment? That's exactly what it is. So I just had a different perspective. There's a dream with a deadline. It's going to come to a deadline at some point. So for me, it wasn't the discipline. It was really, I was afraid. And the fear. So it was the fear that pushed me.
Of mom,
but also the fear of poverty too. We lived in somewhat, let's say, it was somewhat impoverished.
Well, Kankakee is known, right, for more low-income households.
So my mom was $40,000 raising 2 kids.
So
real deal.
So where does this come from? You mentioned a couple of times in this brief conversation, cancer, building of communities. Like, where does that heart come from? Because usually, sometimes when people make money, they don't look back. They just keep going forward.
Sure.
So where does that heart come from?
Well, my thing is I've always had a heart for kids. So it comes down to maybe it's disproportionate, but things happen in life to kids and to people that they didn't sign up for, right? And so it is at times I've had friends, I've had family, I've had individuals that unfortunately have been taken from us and are disproportionately, they've gotten cancer, and some have survived, some haven't, but the changes that go on in their life during those periods of time are pretty humbling. So that's important. And then kids, at the end of the day, kids don't decide, here's how I look at it. Kids don't decide who their parents are. Parents do. And so every child deserves the right, the ability to be loved and to grow up in a house of love, regardless of where it's at, whether it's in a community, because again, sometimes it takes communities to raise, it takes a village to raise kids.
Yes, absolutely.
So every child deserves to be overwhelmed with love. They deserve to have love from their parents, from people that support them, that love them. And so at any time I think about the beginning or just grounding, I think about kids. So I sit on a couple boards and it's around kids and opportunities for kids.
That's awesome. So you're giving back to the community. What are some projects that you have going on? I mean, we love philanthropic stuff. We love serving the community. Both me and Delilah are big believers that you got to give back. What are some things that you're working on right now, giving back to the community?
So we're doing some scholarships now for children that are taking a route of the more expensive education. So we're doing some scholarships there. We're serving on a couple boards around youth that are different. I'll just say that. That typically don't have the complete family structure.
Nice.
And I go back to every kid deserves the opportunity to eat, have cereal. I just think about myself. When I was growing up, my mom used to say, "You have one cereal until you finish that one." And I was like, "It's kicks. I hate this cereal." Right? And so we wouldn't get another one. So guess what? When I was able to afford it, I bought 10 things of cereal. And I'm like, "Oh, so for me, it wasn't about money. It's still not. It's about the freedom that it might allow for you to have choice."
Wow.
And so we have that. So this is, a couple of things we're working on. Scholarships. There are 3 organizations that we've nominated this year for community involvement. So we're doing that now. The nomination process is now, so we're going through our list of ones there. One that's very unique is I'm on and trying to help launch, and one that has to do with the gap in between veterans and the healthcare system, like the VA. So when people go off, and it's really sad, we're one of the only countries where people go off to war to represent the United States and within the United States, and they come home to a less than healthcare system because of the way the system is built. And so some of the more progressive medications, some of the more progressive forms of care, they can not only can they not afford, but the VA doesn't offer. So they have to go outside to get it, and sometimes those are life and death things. And so we have veterans that are representing our country that are struggling to just live every day.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Again, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But again, it's the system, the construct in which we're in. It's really challenging. So we collectively, everybody has to lead with care, compassion, and love, and try our best to really take a step back and just kind of see what's important.
And I think opportunities are so important. Like I have a nonprofit organization for teen girls. It's a summer program. And last year we took our girls to Guatemala on a mission trip. We did a fashion show, we raised money. And from that trip, we give kids a different perspective and we're able to do things for them that maybe their parents couldn't do. Like one of them wants to be a world photographer because of that trip. And so it's good when you give back. You probably feel great about that too. And so what's next for you?
Well, I think it's part, here's what I'll tell you. I think it's not only it feels good, but I think it's part of our responsibility. I think people take responsibility differently now. They're here are my responsibilities. I think as leaders in communities, collectively, that we have a level of responsibility because we've been blessed with so much, even if it's just an opportunity.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot to unpack there. But
He's leaving a legacy too.
So here's my question for you. If someone, I know you were here, you were doing your speech on the stage. What's your biggest advice for somebody that's looking to get into entrepreneurship or possibly struggling financially and can't make ends meet through their entrepreneurship endeavors? Because it could be hard. It is a hard road for some people. What is your biggest advice for that or for them?
So I may get cancel culture for this, but I believe there's the case. I'm serious. Is that people have to decide. There are people that are built for this, and there's people that aren't, that desire to be it. Okay?
You're the second person to say
It's
that.
okay to go work with someone who has a bigger vision than you, and then be able to, through momentum and through support and opportunity, peel off and have your own vision of that. But I don't believe everybody. I truly don't. I don't believe everybody was meant to be a CEO.
Wow.
I don't believe it. I know a lot of people that say to me, "Hey, you know what? I was meant to be an entrepreneur."
Yeah.
And I really? Like, it is the hardest thing to do to start something from
It
nothing.
is.
I go, and then create value, create opportunity, and then create the space and do all these things. Why not just go take a $70,000, $80,000 job and then create your hustle on the other side and create another 20 or 30,000? You make $100,000, you're making more than 6% of America. Go do that versus the opportunity of saying, well, if I'm an entrepreneur, I can make $1 million. But at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur, if you're not making money, is a very expensive job.
Yeah.
And you're making less. So you may be making 40, 50,000, but you're like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur.
And you're paying for everything.
You're paying for everything. You're paying for the opportunity. You're paying for the struggle.
overhead,
You're paying
everything.
for all the things.
People.
You're paying for not getting hit. I mean, so, and I'm not taking anything from being an entrepreneur. Don't get me wrong. But I do think that the idea, it was very fashionable for a while. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. When I talk to everybody, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Well, are you really? So what is it that you're entrepreneuring? Right? It's creativity and opportunity and growth, right? That's where it comes into play. So sometimes if people have expensive jobs, and unfortunately in my role, I sit back and I listen to some of these things, and people say, well, Chris, here's where I'm struggling with this, and is it a process or is it a problem? Well, we got this problem, and this problem, and this problem. Okay, so you got to create a process or it's a problem. The first time you have a problem is you can change it by creating a process so it's no longer a problem. So move to the next one, and then you do that.
Process of elimination.
Right, you do that over and over and over and over and over again. But if you're having the same problem in year 1 as you had in year 2, and year 3, and year 4, then you didn't learn the lesson, which is you have to create processes around everything.
Oh, that's good. There's a couple of books out there on that.
Everything is process driven.
Yeah.
Because if it's personality driven, here's what I'll tell you: there's businesses can only be businesses that are scalable can only be process driven. Because if it's personality driven, your span of control is only 5 to 6 people. Her span of control is only 5 or 6 people. So let's say, how big is our company going to grow if we can only grow by 5 or 6 people at a time? But if it's process driven, I can grow by 100, 2, 5, 6,000, 10,000 at a time.
Wow.
Over and over and over and over and over and over. Imagine if everybody at McDonald's made the burger different. I had Bob today. I got this burger. This tastes good. Okay, well, I had Wendy today. This burger tastes a little different because it was different because she made it, right? And every time is a different experience. How successful would McDonald's be?
That's so good.
It's going to be successful at all. So you got to take those type of things and understand that things are changing. You know, we're in the experience world. And everything is about the human experience.
Yeah.
And really dialing back and getting rid of some of the things that we know. And take a moment and just say, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Does it align with my true authentic self? And let me move forward with purpose.
That is really good. So what is in store? First and foremost, what are the services that if somebody wants to reach out to you or work with you, how can they go about it?
That's a good question. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I can already tell you don't work with everybody.
Actually, I do. You know, it's interesting. It's
you select your clients.
Part of my challenge is I'm from Gandy.
Okay, what does that mean?
No, because I look at every person as me when I started. So when I first started, I didn't have anything to start with. So someone took a chance on me.
Oh, wow.
So how can I do justice or with just how can I say no to somebody who's saying this $50,000 to me is all I have. Please take care of it and please do what you need to do with it for me. That's just as important to them as $5 million to somebody who has $6 million. You know, it's just as important to them. So it's perspective for us. So for me, if you're trying to get a hold of me, I'm on LinkedIn or whatever it may be, or the Legacy Wealth Group, it's tlwgllc.com. Go there and you can click book an appointment, schedule an appointment, Dawn, and you put the name in, Dawn. But we're helping people do a couple things.
So do you have a team of people, or is it just you?
I have a team.
I was going to say,
I got a lot of processes.
He has the processes.
I got lots of names.
So I would hope so.
They are held accountable to the processes.
The process.
They are held accountable to the processes.
That's awesome.
No,
Well,
it's true.
I think what you're doing is amazing, and you come every year. I think this is your third time here, right?
The second year, your first year, did you spoke last year?
I spoke last year.
The year before you had a table.
The year before I was invited.
Oh,
See,
okay.
Martha. So it was Martha did not invite me to speak that year, and because the reviews came back and they said, okay, wait a minute, no, we got to have him back. They had me back. I'm blessed to be here, fortunate to be here. One of my counterparts is not here. I wish she was here. We got a chance. We helped create this year. The conversation was created in and around not just business, but the purpose of business, the true human experience around business and what businesses can do and how you can manifest these wonderful things in life. You do them in community, you do them with support, you lift others, and you reach beyond what you believe you can do. So that was the idea behind it. But I think I took it from the stage and did a little bit.
Yeah, you took to the 1% out here.
Did a little bit there, and I think it was productive. I think people got a lot out of it. I think that I showed up the way in which I would like to show up, which is humble and grounded and still able to share and share with people their experience.
I heard you say earlier, because she asked you what's one of your hobbies. You said you do a lot of book reading. What's your number one recommendation?
I don't know if I have a number one, but I've been stuck on this book about the ego, getting rid of the ego, servant leadership, those things. Right now, I'm reading the Marcus Aurelius again on what is brain fart? Meditations. I'm reading that. I'm reading that again. And there's others that I'm reading. I'm reading some. It's interesting. I'm reading some like grounding and business books or just books about the human experience and showing up without ego, and how to place your ego and put it in a place where I don't show up with the fear of loss, like I did when I was growing up. I'm not showing up in relationships, in all relationships, business, everything. I'm not showing up the way in which I don't want to show up. That's not the way in which I want people to perceive me. I want people to be able to feel like I can connect with them. I can feel like he sees me and that he's not going to judge me.
I'm not gonna lie, you intimidated me a little bit.
Well, he was focused over there. That's why. That's why. Well, we wanted to pick a prize and give you the honor to pick the raffle while we do it live. We're giving away ad space on the radio 14:10 a.m. and see if you can choose the winner, and we'll let them know that they got the package. Who is that?
Maria Elena.
Maria.
Do we know this person?
Yes.
You know her?
I do.
We won. She's a travel.
Is she a heart-centered person?
Yes, she is.
Humble?
She's humble.
Very humble.
Very humble.
Yes, we can give it to. So Maria Elena, you won the prize of the $300 package with WRMN 1410. So you will be getting a call from me to let you know. We're going to put your ad on the air for a full month. So
she just started her travel business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a good thing for her.
Yeah.
She started it a few months
amazing.
ago. Yeah. So look at you, Chris, helping another business.
There we go.
That's about.
So any final words, Chris?
No, I'm thankful for you two taking the opportunity to share positive thoughts into a world where right now it's a little dicey out there, and to put goodwill into the world. If everybody just took a moment to help somebody else out, I think the world in which we live in would be a little bit better. It's not financial services. It's not what I do. It's not what you do. It's what we can do together. But we have to build a community to do it. And we have to understand who we can count on and who we can't. And I know it's not about sports. I know it's not about financial services. But I return back to the idea that, we're all human. And this experience in life, no one gave us a book. And we're experiencing day to day. And at the end of the day, if I can help you in any way, or I can help anyone on here in any way, and I want to be there to help people because that is my community.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much for your time, for being on the air with us. Thank you so much, Delilah, for co-hosting.
Hey, y'all.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate IMS student right here, Glenetta.
Yes.
Keep holding it down, chasing Chris down, making sure we interview him.
It's not my fault.
And of course, Gano XL Coffee. We thank
So
them
good,
because they
yeah.
supported. They gave us some coffee so we could do the interview today. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for everyone watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon. God bless.
Bye.